The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, The Green Law Firm, personal injury attorney, Kaylin Parker of Magnolia Wealth Strategies, Moe's Pizza, Lance's AC and Heating, CC's Children Blocks, The Pierre Family in Lafayette, Louisiana, Drum.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy. Got a good one for you all today. In a little bit, we have the head coach of the St. Augustine Purple Knights, the one and only Wade Mason. Then after that, we're going to have the most outstanding player for Division I Select Girls Basketball Championship, the one and only Tiarra McPipe. And before all of that, we're going to talk a little bit of the NCAA basketball tournament, which is getting underway starting tomorrow, the main fields. But I got George Peppers here. What's up, George Peppers?
What's up, Jared Boyd? I'm doing all right. Actually, my brother's trying to join in. He's actually texting me. So.
Did you give him the link?
No. I told him to go to Restream, but I told him to go to Restream, but I don't remember. If you could directly send him the link.
Oh God, George.
Come on,
What are we gonna do with you, George? We're gonna do with you, George. We're gonna do with you.
I don't know. I'm gonna win this bracket pool. I know that.
Yeah, you ain't even nothing. But we also got the one and only VK. What's up, VK?
What's going on,
Beat
man?
State's own VK Jones.
I'm way of getting back. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the road from Baton Rouge, trying to get back home and everything. So everything is good. It's good to be here. Don't mind the view, but it's sad time still. I'm here.
Trust me, we ain't minding the view. Trust me on that one.
Valley, there ain't no view.
we ain't minding no view, man. No. Trust me on that one. Shucks. Oh, man. All right. So let's get started. Emmanuel Peppers will join us in a second. I sent him the link. The NCAA tournament is getting underway soon. And speaking of Emmanuel Peppers, let me bring him in, the one and only Emmanuel Peppers. What's up, Emmanuel? What's going on, man?
Not much. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, man. Doing good. Emmanuel, I know you're ready for this tournament to really, really get started. So I want to start off by asking you, who do you have winning the whole thing?
I've really been back and forth about this one, and I settled on Auburn, and I know that's going to be the favorite, and I know that's going to be a lot of teams' picks or a lot of people's picks, but I just look at this Auburn team. They just look complete to me, and I know they hiccuped a little bit down the stretch, but I seem to remember that Florida team that went back-to-back, they hiccuped down the stretch of the regular season as well. And, they reset for the tournament. They were fine. Look, they have basically everything you can have. They have a 10-deep rotation. Janai Broome is just a beast inside. They defend really well, but they just score in bunches, and they just put constant pressure on you, and they could score at multiple levels. So Other teams, certainly I considered Houston is actually the team that I have facing them in a national championship game. And that's a team that, under Kelvin Sampson, what is the one thing that we said that they've lacked the last few years? They lacked that real scoring punch. Well, they really have that this year. And that's what I think makes a big difference, and that's why I think they get a little bit further. But, yeah, Auburn's my national champion.
Well, I got the Florida Gators. I just haven't seen a team that has played better than the Gators of Florida. That's why I'm rolling with them. And, they won the SEC tournament. I just don't see anybody right now being able to defeat the Florida Gators. George, you got a question for Emmanuel?
I do. Emmanuel, first off, thank you for taking the time to joining us out of your busy schedule. And I see Auburn, but my question basically is simple. Looking at this bracket, the team I'm concerned about in that bracket is Michigan State. Tom Izzo does good in March. Bruce Pearl, not so much. How much did you give Michigan State consideration to maybe take this team out in a potential Elite Eight?
I gave a little bit, but and I think that Michigan State is going to get to that game, even though I think it's going to be a little bit of a tough time to get there. Defense has certainly always been the big calling card for Coach Izzo's team, and it's no different this year. They're fifth best in defensive efficiency in the country. Where they really fall just a little bit short for me is the fact that they're not that versatile offensively, and they lack true perimeter threats. Michigan State, though, of course, got to give a lot of credit to several guys on that team, including the son of Jason Richardson, Jace Richardson, who is one of the guys that's really been heating up of late and has been leading this offense for Michigan State. So I think they get there. I just think their offense is a little bit limited in what they could do.
VK.
Yo. Yeah, man. I gotta ask you this, man. I think Auburn is very decent. I like the Florida Gators myself. I think Florida is starting to remind me a little bit of UConn a couple years ago, how they got hot late in the season, and they're the type of team that can, if they go on a couple runs, they'll really can knock you out. Which team you think is like a sleeper to make the Final Four, and the way it's looking?
Yeah, that's what you get for taking my pick. But anyway, he wants to know which team do you think is a sleeper to get far in the tournament?
And look, I got to start by saying this. All due respect to Florida, and I love them. And maybe I'm a little bit foolish in this, but I actually tried to go a little bit contrarian and tried to beat them. And I think the one team in their regional that could match up pretty well with them at every level is Texas Tech. And that is, I think, a sleeper. Florida is certainly, with Walter Clayton Jr., and when they moved him to point guard, that has paid huge dividends for this bunch. And the Gators are really deep as well. They've got many willing guys to crash the boards. I just like this Texas Tech team and their makeup. They got a couple of guys that are banged up, but they should be fine for the tournament. And I look at the Red Raiders, and they really just have been. They defend certainly well enough, but they've got 25 wins this season. And lest we forget, they're the only team that knocked off Houston in their conference slate this year. So they've proven that they can beat some of the big boys.
I want to ask you this: a lot of talk about North Carolina that they shouldn't be in the tournament. But I look at their bracket that they're in, and to me, I think it's very favorable to them to get to the Sweet 16. They got an Ole Miss squad they got to face first. Then if they beat them, more than likely they'll play Iowa State. But I think this is favorable for North Carolina to get to the Sweet 16 and face off against a Michigan State team. What do you think?
I really do. Right now, I have them out in the second round, and I've been going back and forth about that one, and I may wind up changing it. But yes, North Carolina has a very favorable first round matchup. That Ole Miss team, look, Chris Beard's a great coach, but I think they're a little bit small. And I think they're going to run into a bit of a size mismatch here in this first round game against North Carolina. The one good thing that Ole Miss has going for them is that they really take care of the basketball very well. They're third best in the country in turnover rates. So they're a very disciplined bunch. They're pretty balanced as well. Those are things that I think Ole Miss has going for them. They're certainly going to keep them in the fight. But actually, I agree with you, Jared. At minimum, I have North Carolina in the second round, and I may just push them around further than that.
Okay. George Peppers.
I do. You have Houston, Emmanuel, to the national championship. At what point do you think they catch resistance trying to get there? Because I look at Gonzaga, they've clicked on here down the stretch. Georgia has had a renaissance year. And then you potentially could see Clemson or Purdue, and who knows, maybe that bracket gets blown up on that side. Where do you think Houston runs into a little resistance in this tournament?
I think they run into a little resistance, not much, but I think they're going to get a push in the Sweet 16. I have Clemson getting there. I think they'll get a little bit of a push from that. And then the Elite Eight, I don't know if we're going to get into this a little bit as well, but that's the side of the bracket that I have opening up a little bit. And I actually have them, you guys might call me crazy for this, I have them taking on UCLA in the Elite Eight. But I think that side of the bracket has a little bit of a chance to open up. I'm not that sold on the SEC teams on that side with Tennessee and Kentucky, and I think it really can open up.
Wow. I was
VK.
debating. I'm sorry. Go ahead, VK. If he's there.
VK. All right. Go ahead, George. Back to you.
All right, that's fine. But, I had made a proclamation on our Facebook chat, Emmanuel, that an SEC team would go out in the first weekend. You obviously have picked up on it with Tennessee, and that wasn't the one I thought. But Rick
Well, I
Barnes
mean,
is a
there's
failure.
14 of them, so
Yeah.
Yeah, there is, but
probability.
there's only there's two seeds, so two of them are two seeds, and that's the proclamation I made. But I had to walk it back a little bit. Tennessee, I don't really trust Rick Barnes either, but I'm not sold on. I'm not that sold on UCLA. They've been up and down all year. They've lost. They've had some inexplicable losses late in the season, and they didn't do too hot in the tournament. Wisconsin blasted them in the tournament, in the Big Ten tournament. Um, what double digit seed do you like to? Because look, we get this every year. How many people like the 12-5s? Lately, up with Lost VK. Lately, it's been 13s. A few years ago, St. Peter's got to the Elite Eight. What double digit seed have you migrated to this year in this tournament? And who are we looking out for?
Well, first of all, if I could just get back to UCLA for a second, and look, Mick Cronin really challenged this team, and he didn't mince words. If you guys remember back in January, they were kind of hitting the skids a little bit, and he called them soft. And they really responded, I think, late in the season, winning 11 of their last 14 games, and they really clicked on. I know they had a big loss to Wisconsin. Look, Wisconsin's not a bad team, so I don't consider that a bad loss in the Big Ten tournament. And of course, conference tournaments can be a little bit overrated. And let's remember that as well. But if I could just get back to UCLA for a second, that's why I actually like them maybe a little bit more than most. But getting back to double-digit seeds. There are a couple that I like, but one that I actually like to go a decent way is Virginia Commonwealth. I actually have them. Let's see. I'm looking at the bracket right now. I have them going to the Sweet 16.
BYU in the first round.
You got them beating BYU.
I have them beating BYU, and then I have them following up and beating Wisconsin as well before getting knocked out by Alabama.
Okay.
See, Jared, I'm not sure about this one because that game is in Denver, and BYU is used to high elevation. VCU is not. They do play that crazy defense. VCU, what do they call it? I forgot the nickname they used for it. Havoc. And even after Shaka left, they still play it. But BYU has had a really good year in the Big 12. I'm not so sure. I'm debating back and forth in that game. A lot of the presumptions on the eastern side of the bracket, the East bracket, Duke is the proverbial favorite, and obviously the big question is Connor Flagg. Is he going to play? He
Cooper
probably
Flagg.
will. Cooper Flagg. That's a Sweet 16 matchup against potentially Oregon. Could be interesting. Do you think one of those two can give Duke a little bit of trouble?
It's tough for me to really get behind either Oregon or Arizona. Actually, I have Oregon out to Liberty. That's another one of my first round upsets. So I
Okay.
actually have Duke playing Arizona in the Sweet 16. It was really tough for me to get behind them. We talk about inconsistent teams. I mean, Arizona, yes, they had a very tough start to the season. I think they were 4-5 after the first 9 games. Now, granted, all 5 of those losses were to tournament teams. Seemed to pick it up in the middle of the season and then really kind of fell off once again. So I mean, it's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde Arizona team. I don't think I could really get behind them. They just haven't shown the consistency this year, and their defense really fell off, and that's a big thing for me. That's why I kind of turned off from them. They could be a prime upset or a prime team to be upset in the first weekend. I didn't wind up taking it, but I could see somebody making the case for that.
I told Darren. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Is he back?
well, go ahead, George. Let me hear the question. Go ahead.
George has asked
No,
2
you're gonna
questions. Your turn. Go.
go.
Okay. Yeah, Manny. I tell you, like you said, the tournament. I don't know if it's as wide open, but I know it's going to be very, very competitive more than anything else. Do you think it's going to be?
All right,
We
back to
lost him
me.
again.
Back to me. Back to me. Back to me. Bye, VK. All right. So I want to get back to the Duke situation. And Alabama. Both teams has a significant injury to a specific player, especially Duke with Cooper Flag. I don't think you'll see Cooper Flag play round 1, but I think he'll play after that. But what makes Duke such a high favorite to get to the Final Four, Emmanuel?
What I talked about with Houston and how they have an offensive element that they've lacked, I think, the last few years. I think it's the same on the other end of the floor for Duke. I think this is one of their better defensive teams that they've had, especially with, there's several guys that are just key contributors that maybe it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. But I think they really, really defend overall as a team a lot better than some of the past Duke teams, and that's what I think separates this one from maybe some past iterations, and why a lot of people are high on them going far.
Do you think Alabama has a chance, even with the injury they have to one of their players?
Yeah, with Grant Nelson, that's a tough one because that's a guy that could really score, especially on the inside for you. And if he's not there, or if he's limited, then that's going to be a tough one for Alabama to swallow. But what Alabama excels at is, if they can get you to play their pace early, they're actually the fastest paced team in the tournament when you go by the metrics. So they really thrive on trying to get you behind early and trying to get out and run and try to get you out of your comfort zone. If they find a team that can really take care of the ball and really kind of slow things down, then Alabama's going to have a real tough time. And maybe they wind up facing that with St. Mary's in the second round. Maybe they have to struggle to get past a game like that. Because St. Mary's, that's another team under a veteran coach, an experienced bunch that can defend really well and that can control tempo. If they get past that, then maybe they get to the Elite Eight, but I don't think they get any farther than that, because I just think this Duke team, just like I said, it's just they're so dynamic offensively, but they're so good defensively, and I think that's what makes a difference.
Before I go back to George, your thoughts on St. John's?
St. John's. I mean, first of all, what a story, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Rick Pitino has just, he has won everywhere that he's been. And, that again, that I really think that before I answer about St. John's, I think that's the most loaded regional. When you talk about the top 3 seeds with Florida, with St. John's, and the top 4 seeds, Maryland is a very good 4 seed. With Florida, with St. John's, with Texas Tech, and with Maryland, that is the most loaded regional that I think we have in this bracket. So St. John's certainly wasn't done very many favors by the draw. Um, the one thing that is a minor drawback for St. John's, they're not going to light it up from deep. They are a team that they have some slashers and they have some bangers. They're going to look to get inside, and they're really just a tough physical team. But they do have talent. I mean, they do have depth, and they have 6 guys that average at least 8 points a game. The other thing that's a minor drawback for St. John's, or maybe however you value this, they do have a tendency to fall off a little bit at the free throw line. So if they get into some close games, if they get in a game against Texas Tech, or if they're facing Florida or Maryland or whoever it is on the other side, if they get in those close games left, their free throw shooting has left a little bit to be desired. So love St. John's. They certainly have a chance to get out of that bracket. I could see why a lot of, some people are taking them to go to the Final Four, and maybe some people are taking them to go a step further. I personally am not, but I could see it just because of their depth and just because of their physicality.
George Peppers.
We always look for upsets in this tournament in the first round, and bracket busters, I guess, for lack of a better term. And one of the ones that a lot of people were migrating to on Sunday, and as a Wolverines fan, I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's a definitely fearful matchup for the Wolverines, even though they won the Big Ten tournament. I think they're grossly underseeded at 5, considering Wisconsin's the 3 and you beat them, Purdue's the 4. But Michigan, the UC San Diego Titans, 30 wins in your first year to get to the tournament. This is a team that could score, that could defend, that can hit free throws, and they can hit it from the outside. This is a very dangerous matchup, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on UC San Diego against Michigan?
Thoughts on UC San Diego, on the surface, you see a 30-win team, and you see a team that's riding a 15-game winning streak, and a lot of people are going to gravitate towards that, and I get it. Michigan, though, what they really have this year, and it's really unconventional, between Golden and Wolf, you have 2 7-footers in your starting lineup. UC San Diego does not have anywhere near the size to be able to compete with that. So while they've had a fantastic year, and certainly all props to them and what they were able to do, especially in conference play, and how consistent they've been able to be throughout the season. I just see it from an aspect of they just don't have the size to really match up with Michigan. And if they're gets to trying to get some of those second chance opportunities, the Wolverines are really going to eat on the boards. So I don't have UC San Diego winning this game. I think Michigan gets past them.
Point counterpoint before we go to VK. Michigan's guards don't take care of the basketball. That's the biggest concern for me. They are very careless with the ball, and that could offset any advantages they may have on the inside. If I'm Dusty May, feed the inside, let them go to work, and let them do their thing. But the upset I have in this first round, and I gave this one to Jared, I'm going to give it to y'all. I've got High Point taking out Purdue in round 1. And I thought about Yale against A&M, but I got High Point. They're going to beat Purdue.
A VK pick?
That is better than a VK pick. High Point takes them out. I think they could take them out. 29 wins, strong everywhere. They finished the job in the conference this year. Purdue, to me, since, after, of course, it's 1 year after making the national championship, and I got them there last year and won and had them winning it, but ran into the dynasty, UConn, right? But I think High Point's the right kind of matchup. Nothing to lose. Purdue is underwhelming. I think they could take them out. But a lot of people like Yale to beat Texas A&M. I don't know. A&M crashes the boards too good, and Yale's got a hell of a point guard. But
let's get VK in here. VK,
yeah, where is he?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a question?
Yes,
Let's go.
Well, what's the question again? One more time.
No, you asked the question.
Oh yeah, my question. well, Manny, you said you had Houston in the national championship, right?
Correct.
Well, I kind of like it, but I kind of disagree. My biggest take is, do you think Houston needs to conjure up a little more offense? Because to me, that's been the caveat for the Houston Cougars over the years. They always have good defense.
And we lose them again.
And I think
Boy, not going 50 points is not going to win your championship to me. And I think they need, if they score over 60, 70, I think they can definitely have a chance to get to the national championship game. Do you think Houston need to get a little more offense on? Just a little bit.
I think they have it. When you talk about L.J. Cryer, when you talk about Jawan Roberts, I mean, these are really dynamic scorers, and this is a Houston team that really has. You look at some of their results this year, especially against some pretty good defending teams in the Big 12. I mean, I mentioned Texas Tech, and we've talked a little bit about BYU. Look, I know it's not a sexy number. They're averaging about 75 a game, but that's certainly better than some of their past iterations of some of their teams have been. So I think with the guys like Cryer, with the guys like Roberts, you talk about Emmanuel Sharp as well. They have some scoring punch that I think they lacked before, and it's not a super high octane offense, but it certainly has been better than what some of their past several years teams have been. And I think that's what you just needed to get a little bit more of a scoring punch with that defense that we know Coach Sampson's bunch can play year in and year out. You get them a little bit more, and I think it's gonna really take them deep into this with a chance to win it all.
We'll get you out of here on this one. So we know you have Auburn winning the national championship, but who are your Final Four teams?
So I almost chalked out. I wound up having 3 1 seeds. So I have Auburn, I have Duke, I have Houston, I have Texas Tech. That's my only non-1 seed. Like I said, I mean, there are some regionals. Really, that regional that Florida is in, that is a killer regional. I look at that one, and any one of those top 4 seeds, I think can make it out of there. So, that's going to be a cutthroat battle to see who gets out of there to get to the Final Four in San Antonio. I thought that on the surface, Auburn maybe had a little bit tougher, but I look at each matchup, and really, I just don't see that team that could really match everything that Auburn has to offer. Of course, on the other side, I've talked about Houston. Where I like Duke is the fact that as long as Cooper Flagg stays healthy, they certainly have enough. And like I said, their defense is really what has stood out. They're actually 3rd best in defensive efficiency in the nation heading into the tournament. So that's my Final Four, and I know there's some other teams that certainly would have a case, and I know there's some teams that can have a case built for them. And by the way, I'll go on this. I was smiling and laughing when George said High Point because I had the same thing.
Oh man, I thought you was on my side, man.
I actually do have High Point to beat Purdue, and that it really goes back to the fact that Purdue, they lost 6 of their last 9, and I know there's not a bad loss in there. They lost to teams like Wisconsin, they lost to Michigan, I think, in there as well. So there's not a bad loss, but they're certainly not coming in the tournament in a great way. And, they don't have that enforcer. Of course, they've had Zach Edey the past few years. They don't have a guy like that this year. I think it's easier to score on Purdue's defense. And I think that's where High Point, if they can, if they can get out early, they may be able to take advantage of that. So that's one of the first round upsets I have. So that's why I was laughing and smiled a little bit.
Yes, indeed. Well, Emmanuel Peppers, thank you for joining us, my friend. And we'll talk more about this on the phone, you and I. But thank you for joining us on the show tonight.
Absolutely. Pleasure. Y'all take care.
All right. The one and only Emmanuel Peppers. And we're going to take a commercial break. And when we return, we will have the one and only state championship winning coach, Coach Wade Mason, right here on the Hash It Out Show.
Are you in need of a new windshield? Leo Autoglass can help. For 20 years, Leo Autoglass have been servicing the New Orleans area with windshield replacement and auto glass repair. Give them a call today, 504-301-8353. Did you experience storm damage from Hurricane Francine? Barretto Home Solutions can help. You can give them a call at 504 940 7552.
Green Law Firm is a full-service law firm specializing in personal injury, criminal law, successions, and family law. With over 25 years of experience, the Green Law Firm continues to provide efficient, competitive, and effective representation to clients throughout the state of Louisiana and all across the nation. Consultations are free. If you're looking for results, call the Green Law Firm at 504-328-3990. That's 504-328-3990, located at 931 Westwood Drive, Suite B in Marrero, Louisiana. The Green Law Firm.
And now the final award is the 2025 LHSAA Boys Basketball State Championship Trophy for Division I Select. Your St. Augustine Purple Knights. Head coach, David Nixon, and principal,
And welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy, joined by George Peppers and VK Jones. As you have just seen, the St. Augustine Purple Knights won the Division I Select State Championship by defeating St. Thomas More 45 to 35. And we are joined by their head coach, the one and only Coach Wade Mason. Coach Mason, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. What's going on, fellas?
Not much, Coach.
What's up, Coach?
Talk about the feeling of when that clock hit zero and you guys won a state championship.
Oh, man. It was a great feeling. People have no idea how hard it is, man, and the amount of hours you put in. As coaches, man, you spend more time with those kids than you do your own family. And vice versa, man. Those kids are with us more than they're with their own family. So it's you think about all that stuff, man, as the clock is winding down and all that hard work, it comes to a head, man. So it's a great feeling, man. Wonderful.
Halftime, you guys are down 17-9. You only scored 1 point in the second quarter. You come out from halftime. You don't allow St. Thomas More to score a point at all. You guys take the lead, and you never look back. Talk about your team's resiliency.
Man, these guys have been resilient all year, man. Mentally tough group of kids, and I tell people all the time, man, you can give me toughness and grit over skill any day, because I'm just telling you, I've been on both sides. When that skill meets that toughness and grit, the toughness and grit go win every time. So, man, these kids, man, they've been resilient all year, man, mentally tough. I try to put them in a lot of uncomfortable situations in practice. And, the parents might not understand. They might not like it. A lot of the times the kids don't like it. But for me, man, I know as a coach, my whole thing is I'm coaching them to where I'm trying to get them to go or where I need them to be. And, that makes them uncomfortable because they've never been there. But man, it all worked out. Those guys needed to be dogs. I had been grooming them to be dogs, and when it was time to be dogs, they were dogs. They came out of halftime and held a really, really, really good team scoreless, and that's hard to do. And for people that have been following us, those guys, they did that all year. It drove me crazy, man, because I started to think those guys liked playing from behind. It literally drove me crazy. After a while, I would fuss at them and yell at them, and it would go through one ear out the other, almost like they knew they had it covered, coach. That's the look they would give me. And it was early on in the year, man. They had that mantra, "Comeback kids," and I hated it. But in the end, they proved to be right, man. So I'm glad we was on the winning side of it. And again, man, I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for them because those kids don't understand it yet, but is lifetime memories. And for me, man, that's all it's about.
Definitely. Coach Bernard Griffin was your coach, and a lot of the principles and morals that he instilled upon you, you are instilling upon these players of yours. What does Coach Griffin mean to you still in your life today?
Man, we talk every day. I tell you what, man, just saying all period. And Coach Griff, man, knows a gift and a curse because honestly, man, when I left St. Aug, I didn't think I was supposed to lose ever. I really didn't know what losing felt like because I won so much. I mean, in my 4 years at St. Aug, man, I lost 5 games in 4 years. Actually, I didn't lose as a freshman, didn't lose as a sophomore, and lost 1 game as a senior. So for me, man, losing was a place I had never ventured. And when I got to college, man, it was different. Um, when I got to Tulane, I had a problem with losing, like a real problem with losing. I also had a problem with teammates who accepted losing, and that was the part of St. Aug and Bernard Griffin. Like that was the DNA that was in me, and it started right there at St. Aug. And again, it was a gift and a curse. But I talked to Coach Griffin every day, man, and he just wanted me to be me, and he told me he actually called me before we got on the bus to go down to Lake Charles. He just told me, say, be you. He said, do your job. He said, just like a player, do your job. And that was it. And I'm like, Coach, you don't have nothing else for me, man? You don't have another cheat sheet for me? And it was do your job. And that's it, man. He didn't try to he played the background. He would always tell me how proud he was of me. But he really didn't give me too many tidbits. He kind of let me figure it out. Again, I had to see him every day, and we would visit about certain things. But he let me figure it out, and anybody that played for him, you know what it takes, you know what winning looks like, and he could be comfortable knowing that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to give these guys the same feeling and the same confidence that he gave all of us.
George Peppers.
Coach Mason, first off, congratulations on winning the state championship in Division One, and thank you for taking the time to join us. Gotta ask you, your team was special all year long. You had that, what was it, a 15, a 16 game winning streak?
Yeah.
When you guys went on that streak, did you feel like that was a precursor of what was going to happen in Lake Charles this weekend? Did you feel like was there a moment or a game of some sort? It was like, man, this team can win it all. Was there like an epiphany or something?
Man, you know what? I tell you, man, when I thought we could, over the Mardi Gras break, we had 4 great practices. I mean, and when I think back of my time in college, you always want to stack days. You want to have some consecutive good practices. It's rare. It's rare to have those. We human. You're not gonna be on 10 every day. You're not gonna be on all your P's and Q's every day. But man, we had 4 good ones, man. And I'm telling you, it was like, wow. Like, I mean, I couldn't even make up nothing to get mad at them about. I mean, they were good. And man, it was so good that Monday through Thursday, I gave them off. Leading to the Bonneville game because we had a bye. So I gave them off leading into that Bonneville game. But a lot of people don't understand, and the players kind of revealed it after the Liberty game, but we were putting in plays and defenses for Liberty then. I mean, it wasn't like I was looking past anybody. I mean, I respected Bonneville. I was really scared of Bonneville because we had played them already. In Alexandria, I mean, they had the big dude who was blocking shots at the square. So I was game planning for those guys also. But kind of like college, man, my time being in the Big 12 where you could play on the Saturday and then turn around and play on the Monday. Same thing being in the SEC. You have the game plan quick. So that week that 4 days of the Mardi Gras break, I was kind of putting in stuff for Bonneville, St. Thomas More, Liberty, Curtis, Catholic, Alexandria. I was just trying to put in things for everybody because it wasn't about tricking nobody. And in the playoffs, man, you got to rely on your habits. You're not tricking anybody. It's about who you are. So I knew our habits would have us in games. Um, it was almost like I had to really, really focus on personnel and just quick hitting stuff that can kind of beat them and defenses that can throw them off their game. But I'm telling you, man, that Mardi Gras break, that was when I was like, man, these dudes, man, we got a shot. Like these pieces are starting to fit because all year, man, was like just a puzzle throwing on the floor. And you're trying to fit the pieces together and it might not, just a puzzle as a kid playing with a puzzle. And I'm telling you, man, over that break, we was out of school for that week. Those kids, man, they came to practice. Everybody else at home, everybody else enjoying their break. And they came and they worked those 4 days, man. That's when it hit me like, man, we got a chance. Like, we got a chance. It's the real season now. And telling you, man, they came that Bonneville game. I never in a million years thought we would win that game like that. And then you came back and you jump on Alexandria. I'm like, hold on, man. Like this is starting to shape up. And lo and behold, you get the number one team. And our guys, man, I'm telling you, man, they didn't want to know the way. They didn't. And then we sitting there watching the John Curtis St. Thomas More game. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you I want to play St. Thomas More. I did not. For the simple fact that I know those guys had a chip on their shoulder that was bigger than the chip we had because they had lost the previous year. So I was praying Curtis won. I really was because the truth of the matter is we were familiar with Curtis, playing him in district, following them, all year. We kind of knew their personnel, kind of knew what we could take away. And we just was to go lay the cards on the table and whoever win. But, man, I'm sitting there watching St. Thomas More. Their press was unbelievable. Those guys was on the string, senior laden team, and they were physical. And I'm like, geez, we're not ready for this. And I'm just so thankful, man, that the way it was set up, us playing Wednesday, them playing Thursday, us getting a chance to watch them, and us having an extra day to prepare, that really and truly helped us. I mean, it did. I don't know why it's set up like that. I've never seen where guys don't play on the same day, but I'm thankful that we played the day before they did, and we had an extra practice to get ready for them. I mean, that saved us.
When you got to the semifinal against Liberty, a lot of the prognosticators were giving Liberty a lot of rub, as they should have. Number one team, defending state champions. You guys had had a crack at them in the semis. What did you tell in advance of that game, knowing all the people would talk about, well, Liberty, 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 they're the favorite, and this and this and this. What was the motivator for you, and what did you tell your kids in advance of that game?
Well, man, for people that know me, you have to talk to Bernard Griffin and Perry Clark, some of my old coaches, man. Uh, I'm so glad that these guys took on my personality. But a lot of people don't know how I'm built, man. You like that I've been a fighter my entire life. That number one stuff that don't bother me at all. You got to show me. You have to show me. I'm one of those dudes that grew up in a neighborhood where guys will put a tire in the street and you have to put one leg in and fight where you couldn't run. That's just how I'm built, man. And I was praying all year that these guys would pick up some of me. And I think they did. Those guys got tired of hearing about the number one team. And my whole speech to them was, who cares about being number one? I was number one before. And one thing's going to happen. When you go out there, you punch them in the mouth, either go show you why they're number one, and they go turn it up and embarrass you, or they go fold. And, it didn't work out like that. Liberty didn't do either one. I mean, they fought back and they showed us why they're number one. But in the grand scheme of things, our guys didn't fold. We made plays late. And, man, the stars aligned, man. The stars aligned. Liberty didn't lose that game. They ran out of time. Them dudes missed 14 free throws. Like, where does that happen? And I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm oblivious to that, but It takes a lot of luck to win, man. It takes a lot of luck to win. It ain't just hard work and dominating people. It takes a lot of luck, and we was lucky that night. Um, it all worked out, man. It really did.
30 years since the last St. Augustine state championship. Well, state slash national championship. This year's team, though, I'm not going to say it pales in contrast. I think this team has their own identity and what they were able to do. How much did that championship play into trying to get this one? Because that team was stacked, like crazy stacked good. But how much did you use that as a motivator for this team this year?
I tell you what, man. You know what? That's a great question. And nobody's asked me that. All of the interviews I've done, but you are absolutely right. People forget that '95 year, the guys we had to play against. I mean, I'm talking, man, the City of Palms Classic and the Slam Dunk to the Beach. You playing against DeMatha and Morgan Wooten. You playing against
Hmm.
Tim Shaheen Holloway. You playing against some real dudes. People don't remember in the '96 McDonald's game, Shaheen Holloway was the MVP. It wasn't Kobe Bryant. So those are the kind of dudes we had to play against, man. So um, we were always the underdogs. We were. Um, Even when we came back home and was number one, the first game we played after being named number one, we played Jesuit and beat them by one. So when you came home, you got everybody's best shot. So it was both ends of the spectrum for us with that '95 team. So with these guys, man, these guys were always the underdogs, and that's what I preached to them. Don't get tricked thinking, oh, '95 we dominated. No, we didn't. When we went out there on the road, we were scared to death playing against those dudes, man. Reading against those dudes in USA Today, and reading against those dudes in magazines, and being in awe of them. But when we stepped on the court, it was going to be fight or flight, and we wasn't running. And it was the same thing with this group. I preached it daily, man. Like, we are underdogs. None of you guys play high level AAU. None of you guys have any offers. All of you guys played JV last year, except for Kobe and Jefferson. Like, I can't have the chip on my shoulder, and you don't. And I preached it every day, all day. And at some point, man, they took on that mantra. They did.
VK Jones, the floor is yours, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, Wade? Man,
What's up, my brother?
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And not much, man. Not much. Got to ask you. Got to really ask you this. Man, how did you feel? Like, not just afterwards, not with with your players, but I see a video. You, Charles Fine, and Mitchell Johnson just hugging it out on the side, man, and getting it done. You know what I'm saying? Winning the state championship, for your alma mater and everything, man. I think that was a great shot I seen on one of the videos, and I was like, wow, man. I still ain't forget the time. And I seen a little bit of a meme somebody created, like a picture of you, Mitchell, and Charles sitting nearby St. Louis Cathedral
Yeah.
when they had the ESPN thing, and had a picture of y'all. And I mean, that was amazing stuff. What was your thoughts? And also, it's funny, you and Charles got 2 rings, and Mitchell got 3 because he was an assistant under Clifford Barkley when they won it in 2011.
Yeah. Man, I tell you, I'm so happy for the current players. I'm happy for the school. But man, think about that, man. 2 guys that I shared the backcourt with, 2 of my best friends, sitting there right next to me, man, and we all just taking it all in. We had our time, man. It's not about us. We all wanted the same thing, and that was for these kids to experience this. And I wouldn't have it no other way. I mean, as a coach and being in college, man, I learned you have to have guys around you that you trust. And those are 2 guys that I trust in my life. And they feel the same way about me. I mean, our parents were friends. We grew up together. We all went to St. Aug together. We experienced winning together. We also experienced tough losses together, like we did our junior year. And it was a pleasure, man, to have those guys next to me. It was a pleasure to have those guys in practice every day with me. Um, the team didn't only have to hear from me; they was able to also hear from those two guys every day. And a lot of people, man, in the city, um, and we can't believe you had those two guys with you. And I don't know, man. I guess I'm just cut different. Like you're supposed to do that. I mean, you're supposed to put your friends on, aren't you? I just how I was raised. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna win the lottery and just go off by myself. I'm gonna take my friends with me. So for me, man, St. Aug was the lottery, and I had to have my two boys right there with me.
Yeah, that was very very amazing. Looking at the team this year, how everybody grew, that senior team. I mean, it just really came together, especially in that fourth quarter. I mean, the run. I know that 11-0 third quarter, but that fourth quarter. I mean, wow. The layup by Jacoby Jefferson just kind of setting the tone, but then all of a sudden, here
We
comes
lost V. There you go. Go ahead,
with
VK.
Brazil, with and Boyd had to redeem himself. He had to redeem himself after missing the
Yeah,
dunk. It seemed like the old
yeah.
St. All right then and there.
I tell you, man.
What were your thoughts on that fourth quarter, especially those dunks?
Man, the kid who's the heart and soul of the team was Coben Jefferson, man. And he's the one who was on the varsity last year. The rest of those guys played JV. Coben didn't. He was on the varsity. Didn't get in much, but he was on the varsity. And when you talk about a guy that had a chip on his shoulder, he had it because he felt like he should have played last year on varsity in his mind. He sat the bench, man, and he also wasn't around those guys. So it was a separation. Those guys were on JV, so they was kind of like in the clique. And Coben was the only one on varsity, so he was kind of like the loner. So man, it took a while for those guys to kind of mesh. Even though they're all in the same grade, it took a while to mesh because they were on different levels last year. But Coben was the heart and soul of the team, man. He took on the challenge of guarding the best player every night. It was no debate who's gonna guard the other team's best player. It was always him. And for him to sacrifice so much, being a returning varsity player, and I had to put him on the best offensive player every night. For him to get that and one in the fourth quarter to put us up, man, I was so happy for him. Because I limited him as far as scoring. I did. Like, I mean, I had restraints on him as far as shooting the ball, and he had to take on that mantra of locking down the other team's best player, and let's let these other four guys play offense. And he sacrificed, man. He did. He really, really, really did. We couldn't have did it without him. We really couldn't have, man. He's a tough dude. He's a soldier, man. And for him to get that and one in the full quarter, that's when I felt like we got a chance to really, really win this thing. But everybody made plays. I mean, everybody. And what people don't understand is, man, I can't wait until tomorrow at the school for the celebration because I really, really want to celebrate these guys. But the guys who didn't play, the job that they did in practice. We had a 3-hour practice that Friday. I went crazy because guys were on their Liberty High, and they wasn't coming down. And man, it was almost like they were hearing what I was saying. And it was going through one ear out the other. So Friday we had a 3-hour practice, man. I mean, I went crazy. But the guys that don't play, I had those guys actually running Liberty's press, and we actually practiced 5 against 7. That's how scared I was of their press. We practiced 5 against 7, and for our guys that don't play, those bench guys, man, they put on the show. I mean, they had our starters so frustrated and guys mad and not speaking. And if it wasn't for those guys sacrificing and making our starters better, Liberty and St. Thomas More would have gave us the business. And we practiced that Friday for 3 hours. We went to dinner Friday night. We get off the bus at our hotel at 7:30, and I make the guys go in the parking lot. And we went over St. Thomas More Press again in the dark. Saturday morning, 12 o'clock game, 8 o'clock, we in the parking lot of the hotel again, going over St. Thomas More Press. And hats off, man, to the guys that didn't get many minutes, but wasn't for them. Getting our starters ready, and giving those guys the confidence that they could break that press, we wouldn't be here because we literally sat there and watched. St. Thomas more press Curtis and turn him over into some crucial turnovers. I had watched 12 of their games, and I watched those dudes press everybody else to death. And man, we if you look back at the game, we were confident versus their press. And I made a change without telling the coaching staff, but our best player, our leading scorer, Henry Miles, I put him at the back of the press, and I put Jacoby Shepard in the front because I knew they were going to come and run and jump and trap hard, and I wanted them to have to come trap the longest and tallest guy on the team that could see over the trap. And I knew once we got it out and got the ball to Aaron Miles, Coben Jefferson, they were in trouble trying to catch those guys. So the stars aligned. The backup guys played their role. They made us better. The starters gained confidence from those two practices, and man, it all worked out, man. I'm not sure if it was the 30 years and us, um, being just God put us in a position to win it. Knowing that it was 30 years, it just the stars just aligned, man. It really did, and I'm elated for these players, man, because nobody know who these dudes were. Even in the city, man, nobody know these dudes. It's not like their name is ringing amongst hoopers in the city. These guys wasn't no preseason all district or none of that. They didn't play high level AAU, EYBL, none of that. So for these guys to have the lasting memories that they're a state champion, they're gonna have a banner hanging up in the trophy room. They're gonna have their names on the court. Man, I'm so thankful, man. Because one thing I know about Purple Knights, they value winning and they remember winners.
Very much agree. Very much agree. Got to actually this last thing, and I'm gonna let JB close it out, man. It's kind of a two-part of one. The home court has just been unbelievable for you guys, and in the history of St. Augustine basketball, you have only lost the Oven Watson Jones gym. You only lost in the playoffs only twice in the history in the playoffs against anybody. But then on top of that, this season, your home court advantage was amazing. Once again, only losing one game at home. And you guys really used that home court advantage, and especially how everything was rebuilt this year. A lot of magic on there this year. I think the turning point of the season to me for y'all guys when y'all came back against Curtis and got that win, I really thought something is about to go on at all because the way y'all came back. But tell us about how big that home court was, and also I want to ask you about your defense. It seems like you guys to me was like WWE. How y'all handled Jeremiah Lucas, the big man from Alexandria, how you guys really had Malik Robinson had to earn his points the way he did, and then the way y'all locked down John Luke Borg. I mean, it looked like y'all was like WWE in a good way, like ease for everyone.
Sure.
They playing it simple. You're gonna have to earn your stripes again.
Yeah. You know what, man? And this would never change, man. Um, defense translates, defense travels. In college, man, there's this saying that defense win road games, and who's gonna hang our hat on that? When you look at college right now, Rick Pitino, those guys defend at St. John. When you look at the NBA, Oklahoma City Thunder, those guys defend. So, man, that translates to any level. I mean, to me, it's almost like common sense. But when you speak about the home court advantage, there's nothing like playing in front of the Purple Knights fans at home, and that marching 100 sitting right there. But to be honest, man, we won the state championship. And I know I got OCD, man. I'm a perfectionist. That's who I am as a person. And to be honest with you, I'm still mad about the Jesuit game. Game 5, we got the ball with 10 seconds left and can't win the game. The Newman game, the championship of the Newman tournament, we missed 22 threes, lose that game. Then the Holy Cross game, we hadn't come down from the John Curtis victory. I mean, we came back and won a big one. We go lay an egg at Holy Cross because guys wasn't focused and wasn't thinking about Holy Cross. You was still living in a John Curtis moment, So for me, man, I'm thinking about that. I mean, I'm thinking about the losses, the state championship. And if you notice, man, if you go back and watch, I didn't even celebrate with the team. When the horn sounded, I wasn't even on the court. I mean, I went in the stands and found my brother, found my family, and found the people that I know genuinely care about me. Because one thing I know about this business, man, if we would have lost the state championship, guys would have been saying I can't coach and I should be fired. So I don't lose sight of that, man. I'm always leaning on the people that I know love me unconditionally. That's what I did. I mean, the game ended. I ran in the stands. I'm going to find my family, let them enjoy their moment. This is not about me. But when you talk about the home court advantage, it's nothing like it. That's why the number 4 seed was so important for us to get. So we didn't have to hit the road playing in the playoffs. But trust me, I'm still upset about the losses we had. 31-4. I'm still upset about those 4 losses, and I'm thinking about what's next. That's where my mind is right now. I'm ready to get this celebration over tomorrow and start building for next year.
Most definitely. Well, Coach Mason, once again, congratulations on winning the state championship to you, your staff, and the players for St. Augustine. And thank you for joining us on the show tonight. We appreciate it.
Man. Appreciate y'all do a great job, man. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, Coach. Proud of you, man. Proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Definitely. As Coach Wade Mason, head coach of the St. Augustine Purple Knights. And, man, you can't say enough about the job he's done in his first season. He and his staff. And, got to tip and take off your hat to him for what he's done, guys. Quickly, VK, your thoughts, because we got a couple minutes before we get Tiarra McPipe in here.
Well, it's like I said, amazing what he's done this year. Like I don't know if they gathered the coach of the year yet or whatever, but
It like for the state when they do the state
way it was looking,
when they do the all-state players, it has to be him, hands down. It has to be. But go ahead.
Yes, I think it has to be. I think for him, it's amazing in first season, but you just had a feeling, and it's not surprising how he was going to really, he coaches his players up. You look at the resume when he got hired and everything, and I remember when he joined the staff on Gerald Lewis's squad last year, and I really thought that was going to be a good addition to the staff, and then all of a sudden Lewis and St. Aug wraps it up. That's it. He moves on, and when St. Aug went on the search and everything, and all of a sudden when they hired Wade Mason, it just didn't surprise me at all because of the resume he has. And there were some people was kind of on the up, didn't like it too. But I'm like, go look at the man resume. It ain't about him being a Purple Knight alumni. This man has experience beyond experience on the next level. So for him, with that combination of that and his experience playing at St. Aug, being a part of a national championship team, and bringing in 2 assistant coaches that was on the team and has also assisted before at St. Aug, that spells volumes. And him having like 6 different assistant coaches, 7 different assistant coaches, looking like Washman, everybody else out there, these guys really got them locked in. You could see it in the beginning. The progress was there. But you wanted to see
I got to cut you
more.
off. We got to go to commercial break. And when we come back, we'll be joined by Tiarra McPipe. Y'all stay tuned right here on the Hash It Out Show.
We are your one-stop shop for all your needs, whether it's enhancing your home entertainment system, securing your property, ensuring a seamless internet connection, or illuminating your outdoor spaces. We've got you covered. Bayou AV Security, where technology meets reliability. Call us today to experience the Bayou difference.
JFK Martial Arts offers a wide variety of martial arts programs for kids, teens, and adults as they empower lives through martial arts. Please give them a call at 985 266 0664 and don't forget to ask about their 1 week free special.
Somebody got hurt. Somebody got hurt. Tiarra McPipe.
And welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I'm JB the Sports Guy, your host, joined by George Peppers and VK Jones. As you know, the Zachary Lady Broncos won the Division One non-select state championship, led by Tiarra McPipe, and that's who we have on the show today, the one and only Tiarra McPipe. Tiarra, how you doing?
Getting you.
We doing good. We doing good. Thank you for joining us. We just saw the clip of when the clock went to zero and you and your whole team was celebrating and you fell to the court filled with emotions. Talk about the feeling of when you guys won that state championship.
It felt really amazing because um, it took me 4 years to get to where I was, and that was a championship, and it felt like it felt not real, but it was real. Winning it with my team and all the hard work we put in, so it felt really amazing.
Let's go back to that fourth quarter. You outscored Parkway 20-9. What was the mindset for you going into that fourth quarter?
The mindset I had, it was just to lock in, and I had to take over the game in order for us to pull all the way through because we wasn't up by a lot. So I just had to, lock in and do it for my team and myself.
What are some of the things you learned from Coach McClure that you could take with you when you go play basketball at Loyola?
Some of the things I've learned from her is that you just gotta push through. Like keep all the negativity and all the stuff that you're dealing with outside. Leave it outside and don't bring it to the court. And just like no matter how hard it gets or how tired you are, you just gotta find it within yourself.
What was it like to have a teammate and someone that you call your sister, Ava Raymond?
It was amazing. She's like my backbone. Like if I don't have it, then she has it, or if she has it and I don't. Wait, I just said that. Pause. Hold on. If she have a bad game, I'd have a good game, and I'd have a bad game and she'd have a good game. So it was just vice versa. And whenever I don't have it, I'd be like, okay, come on, Ava, I need you to score for me. I need you to do this in order to win this game. And if she was off, and she'll tell me the same thing. And we really just got each other all the way through. Even with our ups and downs and disagreements, we still pushed through and got the job done.
What kind of a player is Loyola getting?
Loyola is getting a player that plays hard and loves competition and will do anything for her team in order to succeed or get us through.
Okay. My last question before I pass it on to VK Jones. Besides winning a championship, once you graduate, what will you miss the most about Zachary High School?
I would miss them pushing me to a certain extent and also holding me to a higher standard and just getting me through my 4 years. It was really amazing. All the different accolades and all of that. It was just a whole lot of different stuff that they prepared me for college. So I could take a lot from Zachary.
VK.
Miss Tiarra, how you doing? And thank you so much for joining us on the show. We definitely appreciate it. And I can tell you one thing. You have a great sense of humor. You really, really do. Looking at it at the press conference and everything, I was like, I know you're tough on the floor, but off the floor, it's like, wow. I'm like, she is really funny. I really like what I see. And the thing is, and the thing about it is, it seems like you have a good spirit, a good positive spirit more than anything else, and that's really a good thing that that you can continue with that. Hopefully on the next level.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to ask you this at first. Like the last couple years, the Zachary program has just been really, really one of the best in the state, and you guys are so hungry this year. Uh, does the athletics expire y'all to really up the game? Because that's something that Coach McClure really talked about a lot. Because it seems like Zachary is like everywhere right now. That's just been a huge movement in the last 10 years.
Hmm. Yeah, she really does like drills it into our mind like our athletic our like us being so athletic we need to use it in order to like keep going like we did for the championship. Like that's just something she kept telling us for our 4 years or like other people she kept telling us like she just told us like we're athletic and we need to use it. And Zachary Zachary is like talked about like they downplay Zachary and like even Baton Rouge people are girls that play. Like it's just a lot like that. And she just tells us like we got everything we need in order to win the championship like we did. So we just really put our all into the game.
Go ahead, VK. Oh, we're gonna bring VK
Against
in right
Walker.
back.
Hold on 1 second.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You said Coach McClure was very, very tough on you guys. Very, very tough. With her being tough on you all, how did that make you all mentally tougher?
Like with her being tough. She really is a tough coach. But like it's a lot of good behind her being a tough coach. Like it's not her being tough on us just to pick on us. It's her being tough on us to prepare us for what's next to come. Like
Correct.
whenever like we will run for anything and almost everything and like us just being at practice and like she constantly getting on us and telling us like this we need to do this and do that. It just prepared us and like it was like second nature to us. So that's really that's really where it came from and like how it prepared us.
Go ahead, VK.
Well, your thoughts over the years, you had some battles against Walker, against Parkway, but when it came down to it this year, y'all had a determination that this has got to be the year that we not just get over the hump, but we get the job done. What were your thoughts of getting that victory over Walker in the semis and then taking down the dynasty in Parkway?
It was yeah, it was really amazing. Like for like for so many years we couldn't like beat Walker for some reason or like we always like had a disadvantage at the end of the game or like during the second quarter. Like I'm going off of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, it was like one of our biggest games like with us and my team. We really like told ourselves and told to each other that we needed to win and beat Walker because Walker thought they was gonna win whatever, let them say what they gotta say for themselves. But I knew we had it and we had everything we needed to win and we just had to do it.
Very much agreed. And I think yourself and also Ava and also the size y'all had on the inside, it was amazing what we seen in the semis and in the championship game. But also like this year, you had the daily double this year with the boys team winning the championship last week, going back to back. I know you was probably there with the students, and I know y'all was going. going crazy up in the stands, man. What were your thoughts? Because I know Coach McClinton was saying, well, the pressure's on us since Coach McClure said it's y'all turn to get it.
Yeah, the pressure was definitely on them because I like we always like we got it. Now it's their turn to get it, and they actually did it, and we just championships like we dead for real.
It's like they say, it's all about the Z, right?
Yeah, all about that.
And it seemed like your fan base is really, really a very, very rabid fan base. And I mean, hype, everything, it's amazing. And it's something me and JB, we're going to have to come down for a home game because that student section is definitely something,
Man,
you
we
know.
going to Loyola. We right down the street from Loyola. We going to Loyola see Tiarra play right there.
Oh,
She coming to us, man. We going to Loyola.
I'm saying, of course we're gonna go see Loyola. Of course, I know Coach Kelly Kennedy very well, so of course we're gonna see Tiara. But I'm just saying in general to see about Zachary too. Just saying in general, just saying. But Tiara, I gotta ask you this. You it seems like you have overcame a lot of things in your life and stuff like that and everything, and there you have a tattoo on you that it it kind of says some statements that's more like overcoming all that stuff. What kind of means to you? It seems like it's like a symbol of life to you that you overcame a lot of things in your life to be where you are right now.
hmm Um, is this about like my tattoos or just me overcoming like during my 4 years or
It's
during my basketball career?
I was saying like the tattoo seems like it was a like the words on it. It seems like it's a symbolism of everything that you kind of been through, that you're an overcomer and you're doing what you have to do going forward in your life. That's why I was asking. Like it seemed like the tattoo is like kind of a statement, especially the words on there, kind of,
Yeah,
you
basically
know.
with like what you've overcome in your life.
Yeah. I've overcome a lot. Like my coach, she could probably speak for me as well, but like I've been knowing her for like almost 9 years. Yeah, almost 9 years. And like she's been with me since I was a baby, and she's like taken me out of my hard shell and like my having this big wall against like people or like not letting them try and help me. So that's something that I've overcame, and just other stuff as well, like just little things that would bother me, and I'll talk to her about it. And she'll just tell me to like keep pushing through, and I'm like better than that, and just like not being in my head so much about things, and just playing and feeling free. So like that's like a little bit of what I've overcame during my 4 years, or like the 9 years of me and coaching on each other.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And I tell you, you bring a lot of attention. You have a lot of character, and I know Coach Kennedy is gonna love everything about you, and especially with you what your actions, not just on the court but off the court, because I know you do very very well in the classroom as well.
hmm Yeah, she's gonna love me. Duh.
She has no choice. No choice. Lord. DK, you got any more
I'm
questions?
looking forward to. I only got this one last statement. I wish you the best, Tiara, and we're looking forward to seeing you next year at Loyola. We definitely gonna come to a couple games and watch because it's a very. I tell you, the Den is a very good place, very nice place, one of the toughest places in college basketball right now in NAIA. And then on top of that, it's a very very good conference that they're playing in. So we're gonna be looking forward to seeing what you're doing, and hopefully you can get Coach Kennedy's team maybe to a possible national championship one of these days.
hmm Thank you.
Tiara, thank you so much for joining us. This was fun. Good luck at the next level. And once again, congratulations on being named most outstanding player and winning the state championship.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. That was the one, the only Tiara McPipe from Zachary High School. And I just love her personality. I love her personality. And, the press conference, he was just her. She was just her. And y'all didn't see it. I put a clip together on the Instagram page of the Hash It Out Show, and she was just her being herself. And I was like, yo, we got to get Tiarra on this show because her personality was just wonderful. And I loved everything about it. And she's a great player, and we wish her nothing but the best moving forward. But VK wants to go to the Havoc House out there in Zachary. I've been to Zachary before. I've been to a football game there before, but I've never been inside the Havoc House. So we got to make that happen, bro.
Yeah, I just have not been at the school ever before, so I really want to experience it. Even if we
Oh boy, that's a
go
nice
to,
campus, boy.
I just want to experience it. Even if we do one Zachary football game next year for the game of the week, if we're doing football but basketball, yeah, definitely going to the Havoc House because that is, what they have done over there at Zachary has been amazing stuff, and the fan base is rabid. I do want to experience that. I already been to a bunch of places in Baton Rouge. That's the one place I have not been to yet. I have not been to Central. I have not been to Zachary. So I do want to definitely check it out. I've been to Port Allen. I've been to Bruley. I've been to Liberty. So just gotta make a visit to Zachary. I know it's a little ride, but I think it'll be well worth the ride. What they're doing over there, amazing stuff, and it's good to have Tiarra on the show. And she has a heart of gold, and she has a good character on her shoulders, and on top of that,
Very, very.
she's a little nonchalant. So like, duh, what I'm saying? But she has a great sense of humor, man.
I loved it.
I think,
It's her. That is her. Just of course you gonna love me. Duh. Like yeah, of course we know that. I know it's due to her personality.
and I think but knowing how she works, she's definitely a go getter.
Oh
She's
yeah,
definitely a
definitely.
go getter. So she, and as long as she handles her business, her work ethic, and she keeps it going, especially in the classroom, because in Loyola, that is very, very important.
Oh yeah.
That's off the top because academics is like king over at Loyola. So she's got to stay on top of things, which I think she will.
Oh, she most
So
definitely
long
will.
she,
I know she will.
yeah. So as long as she keeps that GPA good, she all good on the floor, And if she works hard in the off season, might get some early playing time. We'll see.
It wouldn't surprise me. She's that good of a player. It would not surprise me. So, well, guys, that is it for the show tonight. We'll be back next week, and the goal is to get a couple more players and a couple more coaches that won championships. That's our goal for next Tuesday and Wednesday. Do another week of those who won championships. Um, Before we get out of here, VK, you got any last word?
Well, we got the Hash It Out Show bracket challenge, man. The link is out and everything. I put it out on the Facebook. I think Jared. Hopefully, I gotta find a way to put that on Instagram to get the link up or whatever. But the link is out, man. Go to the Yahoo section, the Yahoo tournament, NCAA tournament page, and look for the Hash It Out Show. And we have our bracket challenge, man. You got till 11 a.m. Central Time tomorrow to have it filled out. Enter. Come on in and have some fun, man. To Coach Wade, Tiarra McPipe, if you want to get up in there, go to the link and check it out, man. You know what I'm saying? Come and have some fun with us. We taking all takers, man. Let's get as many as possible in this
You
bracket
should
challenge.
you should
Let's
text
have
the
a
link.
lot of
You
fun.
should text the link to Coach Wade Mason. You should just text him and say, "Hey, come join us in this."
Yeah, I'll do that, and you can just text the link to Miss Tiarra, and I also text that to Coach Washington as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, better get in, man. This is just a fun thing we do. You know what I'm saying? It's a second annual Hash It Out Show bracket challenge, and I'm like this, man. I'm not saying nothing, but I know you're the defending champion, so so I ain't gonna say you're the defending champion, right?
I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
Man, he's like he don't remember who the champ was. That's crazy, right?
I really don't. I
That's
don't
crazy.
remember. If I can go back and look and
All
see,
I
I'll
know,
figure it out. But I don't know who won.
all I know, I did not finish. I did not finish in first place. That's all I know.
Of course you
That's
didn't.
all I know. But it's a good show. Good show this week, man. Real good show this week, man. We're gonna keep it going. We'll continue to grow as this product as it is, man. It's good to be on it. And also tomorrow, St. August doing their championship celebration at 1:15 at the school. So it'll be all good. It's gonna be hard for me to be there. I wish I could go, but there's some circumstances kind of happened today that just like, okay, I don't think it's gonna happen. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna try and get to all one of these days. Hopefully Friday, because they are selling those 2 T-shirts, and I gotta see if they got it in my size. If they do, I'm getting it. So
It's funny how you
I'm gonna
talk
see.
about this bracket challenge and you ain't even filled anything out yet.
Well, I done had a busy day today. I had a real busy day. You notice I'm still on the road. I'm almost
VK
home,
did all that
and I
talking
had to do a
yesterday
doubleheader
about the
softball game
bracket and
today. I had to
everything, and I get it out there. VK ain't put his name in it yet.
Hey, but I posted it.
Oh, you posted it. Yeah, you
Did my
posted
job.
it. Yeah.
I did my job. I did my job. But I'm gonna fill it out. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, I
Remember,
hear
we
you.
got to 11 a.m.
All right, I hear
We got
you.
to
I
11
hear
a.m. I'm
you.
gonna fill it tonight.
Yeah,
You filled yours, sir?
I'm done.
Miss May?
I'm done.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
You
done.
done? Okay. All right, done.
My name right there.
Cool.
The first
Good for
one.
you. Good for you.
My name right there. Done. That's how I do it. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and end this show. So
How
thanks
many?
to,
How many entries so far?
when you put your name in, you'll see. So you put your name in, you'll see the entries. Nah, keep you wondering. Anyway,
No.
thanks to Coach Wade Mason. Thanks to Tiarra McPipe. I also got to thank Tiara's mom and Coach McClure for giving permission to let her be on the show tonight. We appreciate it. And also thanks to Emmanuel Peppers for joining us. We're back Tuesday and Wednesday right here on the Hash It Out Show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Go tell everybody to tune in, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, like, tag, share, all that good stuff. We can't do this without y'all. And we thank y'all so much. As VK has a super close up of his face. But anyway, everybody, thank y'all so much. We will see y'all Tuesday of next
Feeling
week. Y'all
drained
take care.
from the constant noise in your daily life? Immerse yourself in pure audio bliss with drums. Experience a world of crystal clear sound, free from distractions. Discover the ultimate relaxation and escape into an oasis of serenity. Grab yours today. drumsworld.com.
You still got the live one, right?
If you're looking for the best pizza in Metro New Orleans, then you're in the right place. Moe's Pizza has a great selection of Italian food that can satisfy your appetite, and they can also cater to your needs in any event. Give them a call at 504-341-9650 or log on to www.moespizzanola.com, located at 1112 Avenue H in West Wego, Louisiana. Moe's Pizza, Italians do it better.
Hi, I'm Erica Randolph, head coach of the Hahnville Tigers boys basketball team. I'm Shayla.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out show. Please like